JRoberts and Imperative coming on. We're going to talk about the new album, Shamrocks and Machine Guns, doing very well on the iTunes charts. Very impressive for an indie artist. About to invite them. Stand by. Yo, yo.
Hey, yo.
Peace, Jay. How's it going, man?
Good, brother. How are you?
Good, good.
Good.
I love the background, man.
Oh, yeah?
The accolades over there, buddy. I
Yeah,
like that.
small wins. Small
Good,
wins.
good motivation, man. Good for you, man.
Yeah, bro. You have to.
How's it going, Imperative?
Good. I'm tired. It's past my bedtime.
I know, bro. We're gonna make this as painless as possible. My aspiration is to start the show at 8 p.m. in the future. So
Oh,
you know,
Okay.
I got to change a few things in my life.
I'll survive. I'm just inviting some people here, so just bear
All
with
right.
me.
Yeah, man.
I'm just going down the list here, hitting every single blue dot.
Nice, nice. Do you guys want to start with the contest? Get it out of the
Let's do it
way,
at
or
the end, because then people join. We want to keep them around, right?
okay,
oh, true.
cool, cool,
I got
cool.
it ready.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who's in here? Peace, Bruising Beats. Thank you for joining. The Rap Pulse, Eastsider Ryan or Eastside Ryan. Thank you for joining. All right, so yeah, guys. I've seen kind of how the album is doing. I get hints of it from IG, but I wanted to ask you guys, how's it going since you dropped Shamrocks and Machine Guns? I believe it was earlier this week or last week, was
15.
it? 15th?
Yeah. So Thursday midnight, Friday 12 a.m. However you
Yeah.
want to look at it. Yeah.
How's it going in your words? I thought I'd ask.
I think
Going pretty
it's
great.
going great. Yeah. Response has been great so far. I mean, I think both Jay and I, if I speak for us both, we both kind of like we released it. We had those first couple of days, and I think now we're kind of taking this bit of a bit of a break. Like it was like we were going hard there. It was like four singles every single 2 weeks, plus
Yeah,
stuff we're doing musically like outside of like what we've done together.
yeah,
So it was a lot, and I think once we dropped, it was like this pause here, but like a relief. You know what I'm saying? It was,
yeah,
so I think I think we chatted. What was it last night, Jay?
Yeah.
We chatted briefly last night. We started kind of getting back into it. I think we're both maybe a little lazy on some of our posting this week, but so far the response has been great. Like
yeah.
from the messages, I had someone messaging me today, producer engineer I worked with in Vancouver, Stroker. And he's like, yo, I'm finally going all the way through. He's like, this one's dope. This one's dope. They're all
Yeah,
dope.
yeah.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I'm still getting steady reviews in people. It's funny that I've been getting different tracks from everybody else, which is great. You know, it means they're actually listening. And yeah, so far it's lived up to what I expected, if not more, actually.
That's amazing. I want to ask you guys, do you think that the most work is behind you or ahead of you now? Like putting the album together, or is promoting it and what you're going to do with it from here going to be the harder part? I thought I'd ask you guys.
I think the hardest part is over.
Yeah?
To be honest, getting enough people involved and interested and pumping out enough music for them to stay in tune
Yeah.
was the hardest of anything.
Yeah.
The only thing moving forward may be, the odd promotion, a video possibly, and some merch lined up. I think that's what's in store.
Got it. So
I've been saying this for a minute to a lot of different people, Jay included, is like, an album, like in music in any form now, you can continue to promote 10 years from now in how you do it, right? I think like a lot of people get stuck in these like label days and what labels and how they promoted stuff, and it'd be like a rollout. You drop your album, you promote for a little bit more, and then it's done. But like we can continue promoting this for however long we want. There's going to be we've already chatted about it, so like we already know what we're going to do. They say I think the percentage of what you should be doing in terms of like your promotion and marketing should be your biggest. And I mean, that comes down to budget, and I mean, we still got some budget for some stuff, and we still got some tricks up our sleeves per se.
Yeah.
But I know Jay's got other music he's working on. I got plenty of other music, so like,
yeah,
you know, it's a big undertaking, and you know, we gotta make sure we communicate with each other, but we got lots of other stuff going on as well.
That's dope. So I want to frame how the album's doing on the iTunes charts for a second, but I want to point out to those listening, maybe some new viewers, this is my second time interviewing JRoberts. Seemingly, I think it was fair to say you came out of nowhere last year in the grand scheme of things.
Hell yeah.
And your debut album, Northside, every single song got rotation on Shade 45.
Yep.
You got some pretty wild streams on Spotify. This is your follow-up album. And, of course, you dropped a whole bunch of singles with really big features that all got on Shade 45. And now you have the pressure of dropping your follow-up, which is Shamrocks and Machine Guns, which just dropped. You guys debuted #1 on the Canadian hip-hop charts, iTunes, right?
Correct.
That #1 in Greece, which is fucking crazy. I don't know how that happened. #7 in Canada, all genres.
Number 9,
and then
19 in Canada for all genres.
19 in Canada for all genres. Okay.
7 in US.
7 in US for hip hop.
Yeah.
Okay. Fuck. That's amazing, man.
Yeah, that one blew. That one I was very shocked at.
Yeah.
Like the #1 in Canada was amazing. Salute to all the people that helped bring it there. But 7 in America was like, holy shit. You know, to be a Canadian and chart almost top 5 where there was like a Ransom, Nas drop, like that's crazy.
Yeah. And it's based on sales, obviously, right? Or pre-sales?
Based on
That's cool. Yeah. That's awesome. So Jay, how does it feel? I saw you sitting above Nas on one of these charts. Yeah. So how does that feel for an MC?
Bro, that shit was crazy. The fact that he dropped the night before, I was like, shit, might actually have a difficult time.
He dropped the night before?
Yeah, he dropped on his birthday on Thursday. So to catch up to our release, we really only had like that little bit of a window.
Holy
so
shit.
The fact that we debuted first, but not only first, we stayed first for more than likely almost the whole night. We dropped the 2nd in the morning.
Wow.
But that's a feat because usually as an independent underground cat, you'll stay first for like a fucking blink of an eye. Just enough to screenshot that shit and you bounce. But this was for quite a bit in Canada, so I'm pretty hyped about that one.
Look, I just want to say, you know, as someone that, you know, threw his hat in the ring as an artist, and I'm sure a lot of artists on IG, to get a clear W in music is hard. And when you're charting #1 on any charts, you're getting a clear W, man. I commend you for that. That's amazing. So amazing to both of you. Imperative, I caught a note on your IG saying this is the first album that you entirely produced that charted on iTunes?
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah, correct. So I've been a part of 2 projects prior that had charted, but I'd only produced. So on Evil Ebenezer's Evil Thoughts, Good Intentions, I just produced two tracks on that. And then the other one was Junk and Young Stitch, Lions Eat Goats, and I produced the title track on that joint. So this is special because this is the first project, you know, that I've been like fully part of in fulls and have that chart. So that's a big deal.
But I looked through your catalog. Of course, you've done full albums before, though, right? You've produced full albums.
I did
before,
full and Burial Plots and Pyramid Schemes, and I'll admit I'm trying to go back to Burial Plots and Pyramid Schemes. I'll admit I wasn't paying attention then, and I don't know if I can find the data now. It might just be lost, but I have a feeling that one probably did fairly well, but I don't know. I can't find the data.
Wow.
And then I was trying to find for when I dropped my single Under the Scope with Benny the Butcher, but yeah, it's hard to find. It's like you got to be on it the second it drops and watching it and like take that snapshot.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's no historical record, I guess.
I'm trying. I think there's like a Wayback Machine, but like it's kind of, I don't know. I kind of just like gave up. I went through that album before this interview. You got like huge features on there. I'm gonna get into that with you in a moment if you don't mind. So both of you guys are approaching 1 million Spotify streams. Is that right?
He has 1 million already.
Yeah.
He just passed that.
I hit.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, go
So
ahead.
I started putting out music on Spotify under my name pretty much January 2020.
Right.
And so since then, it's what it's taken. I've got some projects out there that like with like junk and that may have helped those numbers, but unfortunately, because the way they were released, like streaming are not making it easy to make me a feature or main artist on that now. But is what it is, you know.
Yeah.
They're just milestones, right? And they're small steps to the top, really, right? So
Yeah.
I mean, hitting it a couple months after, you know, tomorrow, whenever, it's these things that are keep us going, right, and climbing to that next goal.
Yeah.
So,
Well, I salute you guys. That's definitely a huge milestone in my books. So, Jay, you told me at the album listening party that you got a few naysayers questioning your numbers. Correct me if I'm wrong, or maybe your Shade 45 plays, or
the Shady plays.
was there anything you wanted to comment on? I just leaving the floor to you if you had any comment on that, or.
I just think it's funny. What I remember chopping it up, saying that there's people in the background saying that I paid for my Shady 45 plays.
Yeah.
But the plays that I get, you can't pay for.
payola is still illegal too.
Yeah.
Payola is illegal. Like, I mean, if people want to question that, one you can if you want to find a lot of the playback you can find on Mixcloud, so you can hear that it is on the show. But payola actually is an illegal practice. So and that's why I think it's strange that some of these playlists are out there, that they haven't really cracked down on some of these playlists that are out there. Just in a way it's payola, but they just don't have a way of regulating it. But like radio, if a radio DJ was caught taking money or taking a trade or something of that, I believe that act is still highly frowned upon and even illegal.
For for me, oh, go ahead.
Like
go ahead.
The certain DJs that are getting spun, it's just like I said, you just can't pay for it. And I remember telling you a funny story that I actually had a DJ that worked for Shady 45 try and ask me for money to even hear my song, and at that point,
I've had that message too.
Yeah,
like, it's BS, right? It's BS.
I'm not going to say his name. He does Wednesdays. He's one of the Wednesday DJs, but I pretty much said, like, I'm played on all of them for free. So why would I pay you to hear me?
Oh, it was a real DJ.
Yeah, no, it's a real DJ.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
But
gotcha.
pretty much it's just, I just laugh because, if they're talking, it's because they either not been on or they have aspirations to and can't. So that's pretty much it.
And
so,
it's for myself with the Shade 45, they're a little bit more accessible than people believe. I mean, JRoberts, and I'm sure we'll talk about this later, is like, one of the big reasons we started working together was, I mean, he reached out to me in terms of a beat, and from there I just realized the work ethic, and that one song, Guillotine, turned into a full project. And it was really just seeing, not that he's talented as well, but it was really there's a lot of talented artists out there. There's a lot of talent that doesn't want to work hard, right? So Jay really worked hard, and he's done his homework. He's done his background in terms of his like send out list and his own PR.
Yeah.
So he has a list, and I have a list of people that we send out to. And so if you want, if you're an artist, you can go out and you can find these same like DJs and radio stations and blogs that we're on.
Yeah.
It takes some time, but you send it to them. And sure, there's a lot of other artists that are doing that too. But if you're not dope, they're not going to play you. Right? It's just how it is.
No, I think aside from the big features you have and the perfect selection of you pick amazing beats. Like, I feel like credit to the producers, credit to you, credit to who was the main producer again on Blanks? Crazy beats. But at the end of the day, you're picking your beats, you're getting the right features for the beats, and these are beats that are like universally everyone can agree this is a great beat.
Yeah.
For a sample beat, this is universally accepted as a banger. I feel like you got really good taste.
I'm extremely meticulous. I will not work with any producer. Especially moving forward after Northside success. I will not be working with a plethora mix match producers.
Yeah.
You know, pay me this, pay me that. We're gonna work together. We're gonna form a unison together, and we're gonna keep it pushing. So that's more so moving forward. I don't think you'll ever hear a project from me that isn't singly one producer.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. So moving along here, the album listening party. I want to say I'm happy I came out. I had a great time chilling with you guys, having a few beers. You know, Jay, you showed up with, I guess, your fiance. You told me you didn't really know anyone in there, but people showed up for your guys' music, which is fucking amazing.
Yeah.
It's a great sign. You did your thing, and everyone was clapping and cheering. You know what I mean? By the end, so hats off to you, man. So
yeah, that shit was crazy, man. I didn't know a soul but Imperative, and we just met that night as well.
Right.
So that was like a room full of nobodies in my eyes. Not personally, just I don't know anybody.
Yeah.
So I had no idea. I've never done a listening party before. You know, I didn't know. I ended up feeling the vibe of the room and performing pretty much every single song. You know, I just feed off the vibes, and that fucking night was amazing.
Yeah. And you know what? Like meeting you, we hung out quite a bit. We talked quite a bit. Getting a sense of your personality, actually, for me, added to your music. You know what I'm saying? I walked away and I thought it added to your music. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah,
so
you get a sense of the character through it as well. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's important. It's important. Yeah, and then you were at that Lay Low venue, pretty cool venue. Had you guys been there before, either of you, or?
I've been there before, and I've hosted an event called Fresh Produce there, which is for beat makers.
Right.
So we would do that. I was doing that with last year with Pretty Ugly, and then it was a really dope event for producers and beat makers to come and just showcase their beats from you know, people who had just started to high end. I've been there to shoot some music videos with Ace on Eastwood, Falcon Outlaw, and Shea Uno.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, I've been there for a bit. I developed a good relationship with Dan, the owner, and so it just seemed like the perfect place, middle point from me being in London, Ontario, Jay being out in Midland, and Toronto kind of being in the middle.
Nice.
And just being able to tap into that scene there.
Yeah. And now Biz showed up. That was a pleasant surprise. I interviewed him for 2 hours.
From Buffalo.
Actually, I've interviewed him twice already. Yeah. He's a great dude. Yeah. He delivered merch to my house on one trip to Toronto, man. That's amazing. Like a lot of merch, a jacket, CDs, and all. That was dope. So I wanted to give you guys my impression at the listening party. When that intro track came on, I'm gonna be dead honest with you. You know, it's kind of offbeat and stuff, and the acoustics were kind of were coming in a little hot. I wasn't sure that it was translating that first track, and I was a bit nervous. But by the second track and forward, it was like smooth sailing. And I said to myself, I need to get my hands on this album, and I need to listen to it at home. I need to listen to that track again at home.
Yeah.
So, but everything after that felt like pure banger after banger to me, man. Right till the end.
That first track, one of the things I love to do with albums is really create it like a story.
Yeah.
Right.
You have that intro, and you have that rising action, you have that climax, and then you have
absolutely
and the outro. And so that track. So anyone listening, no one will probably know this except for Jay and I and the engineer. That sample in the intro song is actually the exact same sample.
Yes. I was gonna say.
Yeah, and so one of the things I did as well on that, which is like a newer thing that might piss off DJs and piss off people, but the middle of the song, when the beat starts to the beat ends, it's all on time. But the intro and the outro are legit off time, and it's just like noise. So like that's because DJs won't be able to get their beat on, like they won't be able to get paused. They won't be able to get like catch the beat, right? Time it.
But also why I love that was because there's Irish sounds in it. You gotta understand, this is an Irish like Shamrock Machine Gun theme. So the singing was like it sounded like an old Irish girl just belting it. There was some sound effects in it that were just very like Ireland's a beautiful grassy nature area. So when you hear that intro, I paid a narrator. He had a script. it puts something in your head,
Yeah.
you know, like a newscaster, and shape the story.
Oh
And
yeah.
it
Oh
allowed
yeah.
me to get very personal.
I,
You
I
know, the intro
go
to
ahead.
me wasn't supposed to be a banger, but I'm getting DMs of people saying that's one of their favorites, which is
Oh
wild.
yeah, yeah.
You
I'm gonna
know?
get into
Yeah.
now when I brought it home. You know what I'm saying? Because I like to hear it live and then home. It could be two different
Oh, of
stories, right?
course.
So I'll get into that. That moment, you know, in the middle with Al Biz's hook coming on, I fucking love his
I'm
hooks.
like, get
I honestly think
over
he's
here.
got some of the best hooks in the game. Just seeing you guys like pointing at each other, that was cool. You know what I mean? Both of you in the
Fire.
room. And even though, yeah, and then Dapper Don, the closer, I mean, it was hard as fuck. So, I mean, yeah, good job. And even though you didn't intend to perform, you have stage presence, bro.
Thank
Like me
you.
and Al Bismarck talking, like, yo, like, there's something here, man. Like, this dude is,
Yo,
you know what I'm saying?
I'm not a performer, bro. You gotta understand. I've only done two live shows
Right,
in my whole career.
right,
So that shit's new to me. And I've never practiced Shamrocks and Machine Guns ever. This is the
right.
first time me and Imperative Link, first time I've ever even done that album out in the open.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
the room was
Yeah,
just
man.
feeding it. So I was like, fuck, I gotta keep going.
Right. No, you did a good job, man.
Thank you.
So now let's talk about the home listing experience. I listened to this thing several times. That's what I do. I really get into it. The thing I love about your music, one of them, top-notch engineering. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Oh
don't
yeah.
slouch on the engineering. I think other artists should take notes, man. I like a well-engineered project
This
personally.
guy,
So,
this guy pushed our engineer. He's a
oh
Juno
yeah,
Award winner. So
really,
that shit, I have a hard time listening to other music that I've done
right,
because this fucking engineer work just blew my mind on good speakers. It's fucking crazy.
yeah,
Yeah, one of my stipulations with a lot of people I work with is like you have to use my engineer. And Jamie
And
and
he
I
ain't
started a
cheap.
relationship back with the music I was doing with Junk out in BC.
yeah, yeah,
With Jimmy Q's in Nova Studios, North Vancouver. He's multi-award winning, nominated, Juno nominated, and so he is one of, if not the top hip hop engineers in the country.
100%. Yo, the
right.
guy was at the Grammys, I believe. I
That's
seen him
crazy.
shooting on his story. Like this close to fucking everybody.
That's crazy, man. That's
Crazy.
great. So listening at home, so I spun the intro a bunch of times. I agree with it, smooth sailing. I love the voice acting. That's a touch you added, I think. And I love the purpose of the track. It got personal. And I think last time we spoke, I said your album, it's amazing. I was put together North Side. The only thing I could say was something a little more personal. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what you did with this album. So it was really cool to see that on the intro. And I did notice it was the same sample going
That's
into the second, into
wild.
Guillotine.
That's
I
wild.
it was so adrenaline induced. Like it makes you want to like flip a table and like pull out a Tommy gun. Like it's so dramatic. I'm serious. And then you got Ace and Eastwood like on the second verse. That shit was dope, man.
And
So
that
yeah,
was really like it's so wild how like the intro was made last. I'm
right.
pretty sure, if not
Yeah,
one of the last tracks.
yeah,
And then Guillotine literally was just me hounding for a beat for a while, finally seeing it live,
yeah,
capturing the beat,
yeah.
and then getting Ace on
Right.
it was just like that song just fucking set the tone.
Yeah. That was great. Another. There's no low points. Everything flowed perfectly, man. I actually want to ask you, Imperative. Like, have you ever put together an album that has flowed this well? Like, I feel it's kind of like a musical, like as far as hip hop goes.
I mean, I want to say all the process I do. I don't really. I mean, I think this one flows really well. I mean, burial plots and pyramid schemes. It's the way I like to craft albums. Now, Jay picked a lot of these beats, but the way I work a lot of the times is when I'm working with artists, I have a plethora of beats and I have a plethora of samples and I have a plethora of sounds.
Right.
And I know my skills and I know my skill set and how I can craft this, but I never try and pigeonhole artists into what I want because I'm an artist and they're an artist, right? So I take my art and I give them an opportunity to be self-aware of their artistry and pick what they're going to pick.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you listen now, I don't want to give away too many secrets, but like we're talking the physicals and stuff for Shamrocks and Machine Guns, and you're probably going to get some extra and bonus stuff on there as well.
Yeah.
And so if you're
That's
talking
cool.
it flows now, I mean, there's probably going to be some things on there that will change it. So if you listen to Burial Plots and Pyramid Schemes, again, I do things very interesting. So if you listen to Burial Plots and Pyramid Schemes on Spotify, if you were to listen to that on the physical, it's a very different journey. Listening experience. I like to do gapless playback. I like to include but the reason why I do that is for my personal close fans that are really going to support, and that's something in Jay and I talking I've kind of passed down to him, and I think he's learned that from there. But I think Burial Plots and Pyramid Schemes, Shamrocks Machine Guns are probably definitely two of my most well crafted listening experience with that intro, rising action, climax. That's really it's like a cinematic experience is really what I try.
And I will say this before we get deeper into it, like why I fuck with the blanks and why I fuck with like the imperative is that it's not just like a receipt. This is like a slow building relationship. So, and it's not just a yes man. There's been many things that we work together in unison. Like me and him both constructed we executive produced it together. We picked, let's see what songs flow so we have a whole body of work because me and him take it very seriously. I'm all about the full listening experience like he was, so it was easy in that sense. I like a story. I like to have the listener paint something in their head. I'm not going to make 7 albums a year and just keep throwing it out there. I'm going to make sure the experience is invested in and well crafted. So I would say it was very easy, and I learned stuff as well. So it was a great experience.
It's clear you take this shit super serious.
Oh yeah.
Dear Jameson, another very notable moment. Personal track. I like personal tracks. You touched on kind of your dad going to jail, being left with your mom and brother. Nice.
Woo!
Are you drinking Jameson tonight?
Yeah, but that's the only drink I drink.
Nice. So that was a great track, simple language, but I love your delivery of it. You know what I mean? Personal. So yeah.
That track was that was very dear to me. That's something I've never really done before. When I put out an album, and that beat wasn't even fucking structured at all. Imperative sent it to me, and I instantly was hooked. I'm like, nah, I need that. I wrote the whole song, sent him the stems, and he fixed the structure afterwards. Right. And then he even took it a step further and wanted it to be a single, which I could see why, because that song seems to be very well recepted, and it has all the right things going on for it. So that's one of my favorite songs I've ever done.
This is hip hop saying you need a Jameson sponsorship, bro.
I've been waiting.
So Better Days, man, right in the middle of the project, fucking that Elvis hook took me to the mountaintops, bro. Like I said, I've never heard him miss with a hook. That was amazing.
And
that was a great
to imperative.
Yeah.
Elvis and me have chatted in the DMs, but I didn't know what to do. I knew I had a sick verse. I knew the beat was crazy, but he's like, yo, I heard him play a sample of another song. I'm like, who the fuck sung that? And he told me it was Elvis. So Imperative ended up making that happen. And that song blew all songs out the water in terms of reception. It's like the radio song.
And then Dapper Dawn, Perfect Closer, banger. So just to let everyone know who else is on there, Super Caliente, Vega 7, J Skis. Great features once again. How long did it take you guys to put this together from end to end?
I mean, it's very hard to tell the timeline. The thing about me is that I was working on so much that, Imperative is very busy. So we didn't really have a timeline. But when he sent the song, it was fucking done. So I'd say 4 months if we were to really think about it, maybe.
Wow.
A lot of it was just the planning, the plotting, and then we were getting close. We were getting really close to the end, and originally we wanted to drop the project on the September 8th, Jay's birthday. Party. There was a couple reasons we decided not to and to push it, but setting that date really set us in motion to
Yes.
really get things done. And I mean, we weren't sure we were going to get everything we needed to get
Nope.
done, because we both, life happens, right? And we both got very busy.
Yeah.
And so we were doing artwork, we were doing a lot of different things and write-ups.
Thinking of promotions and trying to feel like this shit's crazy when you got, I'm busy as fuck with a family of 4. So
yeah, you told me, yeah.
And the funny thing is to backpass All or Nothing. That wasn't even supposed to be on the album. That was a opportunity that arose, and I'm like, yo, we should jump on this, and boom, All or Nothing was done in like no time. So these little things that you don't expect ended up happening, and thankfully we're both easygoing. So the timeline was like, we set it for September.
That's
but,
dope.
Yeah.
That's dope. So Imperative, I like giving credit to other interviewers that uncover stuff. I think that the Car Chat, the online guy, I think I watched that interview. Oh, go ahead. Just to prepare, kind of get some more background on you. I've been following you for a while, but yeah, he caught that you were a competitive snowboarder.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct.
Was there a transition from competitive snowboarding to beat making? And is there anything you take from competitive snowboarding that applies to beat making?
I mean, the transition, so I collapsed my eye socket, so I actually have a metal plate here. So it really just changed things for me, because like I came back, I was still snowboarding almost 2 weeks after with an eye patch on, with my eye sewn shut, and I was still snowboarding. So I attribute a lot of things of who I am and my character and my personality to skateboarding and snowboarding.
Right.
Is this whole never give up mentality, like fall, try again, fall, get up and try again, right? Like until you get it. And it's that mentality. And then snowboarding, in a lot of ways, a lot of the music I was exposed to was through snowboard videos.
Yeah.
A lot of the branding and marketing around things I picked up from there. So where I'm at now, pun intended to my first project, full circle, everything who I am now is full circle from every experience I've ever, encountered. Skateboarding and snowboarding were a huge part of my life that contribute to a lot of things of who I am now. So I say competitive because it's the easiest word for people to understand. I was a sponsored rider. I was shooting videos. I was shooting photography.
Wow.
It's a very creative aspect. So when I collapsed my eye socket and I wasn't riding at the level I was anymore, I didn't have that creative outlet. And that's where beat making came in. And so for me, it would be like snowboarding. You're driving down the street in the winter and you see like a spot in the streets, like a staircase and a rail or something weird. And you're like picturing in your head what you could do before. And the way I make beats is I'll hear a sample and like I'll scroll through a lot of samples. And some people will be like, yo, why are you skipping that?
Yeah.
It's because I wait for the one where I hear it start to finish all the way in my head. Like, so when I actually start making the beat, it's done in my head already. So
isn't it crazy how there's parallels in everything in life?
100%, man. Nothing happens by accident.
Right. So you guys did you produced a couple of tracks on his debut album Northside, right? Or none at all?
No.
I've never worked with Imperative until I finally snatched Guillotine Beat on a live. And funny story is, 3 of those beats on that album, I got off a live.
Yeah.
Literally, he was crafting, and I'm like, that's the joint for this. That's the joint for this.
Right.
So I thought that was pretty interesting.
Nice. Nice.
I told people, I was like, yo, like JRoberts does it right, because he joins the lives and he watches, and he's like, he catches them before anyone else. And people are like, yo, you got that beat? And it's like, no, JRoberts was in the live.
Yo, I just take him as a sharp dude all around, man. I don't know. The way you decide what you'll put on your page and shit, what you'll collab on, beats you'll pick. You're saying he moves quickly on beats. You seem like a sharp dude, man.
I got an ear for it, you know? I got a vision. If I don't feel inspired in the first 10 seconds, I ain't fucking doing it. That's real talk.
So Imperative, I wanted to go back to you for a second. You've worked with many bigger names, and I just want to take a moment to talk about 2023, the project Burial Plots and Pyramid Schemes.
Yeah.
Dope album. I peeped it once, front to back. You got a lot of heavy hitters. You got Benny the Butcher, Ricky Hyde, Josiah the Gift, Stars Coleman, for those that don't know, Pro Dillinger, Asen Eastwood, El Camino, Danielson, and more. Wanted to ask you, how did that come together? Because that sounds like it would take some time to put all that together. Was it just random singles, and then you put together an album? Or
so you probably checked out the deluxe version, which did come out in 2023. So the project actually came out in 2022.
Okay.
I just used my streaming hacks to kind of continue project and continue going. But that dropped in 2022. I actually, you know what's funny is I actually had the name Burial Plots and Pyramid Schemes. I think I went back to something like 2015. I tweeted out something.
Yeah.
I just put Burial Plots and Pyramid. I always knew it was going to be an album. And I knew what I wanted to sound, but I wasn't there yet.
Yeah.
And so Full Circle actually came out after, or like the idea came after. But I need to get Full Circle out first. And then once that came, Josiah the Gift, the intro song came first. And I sat on that for like 3 years. And then once the ball got rolling, it was like snowball effect. It's just like, you know, similar to what, you know, Jay and I did with this project. It's like you start working on a song with someone you know and collab, and then it's like then you got that bass, and it's like, okay, I'll get you on a feature, get you on the hook,
Yeah.
and you just start going and going. And that project, like since then, I've been on like releasing stuff like almost every 2 weeks now for almost a year.
No, he's in
that.
that.
Like, it's like constantly like I Jay's picked up on this as well, and I can see the way he's moving now too. It's just like now that it's going, it's like I can't stop, and it's a bit of an addiction, I guess.
Yeah.
I'm just like, yo, I gotta get the next song going. I get the next project. What's next? And that, like, I literally have a schedule out to like half of next year right now.
It's great when hard workers work with hard workers. I think great things can happen, right? Is that a fair statement?
You could take something so much further. I've never met somebody with an equal grind as I have, or opportunities. Like, we both are well connected because we grind. If there's a door, we're gonna break it open. No one showed the ropes. You just gotta go out there and find them.
So check this out. So you were talking about JRoberts and I and what the first stuff we had worked on. So I found this. So the first actually Jay and I encountered each other was Young Stitch's Kill a God, Kill a Verse contest, which Young Stitch asked me to have a beat in there. So I had a beat, which they ended up calling Kill a God. And so this was 2020, and this is a young JRoberts here.
Look at that. That was the first time. That's crazy.
That looks like my basement right now. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's finished now.
Yeah, nice. Let's
That
see.
was crazy.
I'm the rap villain that's ready to raise the bar. Sun Tzu with the pen and I spit in the auto war. I'm the scars that I can speak of. I'm the king and I ain't lying. Multiplying, multi-syllables, your mind I am divine. Steadily ready, throw the confetti. Got my clock card, please. Only clock that you stocking between your knees. Lock into my creases, stop seeing rappers dying in three. Or hatchet when I spit like a Matthew sniping with this. Spit dumb sick and retarded small. Killing it, willing to be. Killing it, willing to be. To anybody.
Oh, double time.
Stop and remember to freeze. Up 0 minus 100 degrees. Defeated, deleted the competition. Just burn flames. I'm an awesomeness on the mic kid. I'm Kane and you're able. I show no mercy to foes. You couldn't stop me because I turn my weaknesses and I grow. I'm that rose in the gas. You with silences I throw. I just killed the verse. Drop it in. I heard to the show.
So how long ago was that?
That was
2018.
I say young.
2020.
I mean, that's only 3 years ago. It's just because he doesn't have a beard.
That's crazy.
So it's crazy how much has happened since then, right? It's pretty crazy.
Yo, I just started doing contests in 2020. That was the contest that made me start writing again. That's the very first verse I did, and I can't even tell you.
So imperative. What does it take to work with you these days? What does it take for you to actually want to work with someone these days?
Money.
You know what, Jay? Well, like, I mean, yes and no. It's got to. I'm really. It's my legacy that I care about. I care about making good music more than anything else. But you know, I do my homework as you know, Jay and I have chatted. I told him my methods is like I do my homework on people. I research. But like, you know, I have homies from back home that I started this shit with. They're like, yo, let's make a song. And it's like, as much as I love them, it just doesn't. It would be fun to make a song, but it's different now. It's a business, right? So I mean, after this stuff, I have a project with a collab project with a Trust Gang artist and a Lord Mob artist. I have another project with a big Toronto artist. I just got off the phone today with a manager of an artist of BSF Gang. I can't. No, it's not one. It's not like get our imaginations going crazy, but it's really it's got to be the right move at the right time with the right person. But like, and if they're doing what they're supposed to do, they're going to be where they're at, and they're going to be at that same level that catches. Bars are and lyricism has always been at the top for me in terms, but like that aside, you could be the top lyricist, but if you're not working hard, then it doesn't mean anything to me. Because like if you haven't built your fan base, if you're not aligned with what I'm doing, you're just piggybacking off of me. It can't be piggybacking. It's got to be like I don't know. What seesaw, right? It's like we gotta be raising each other up.
Even for go ahead.
Bro's talking facts. Like I've learned from that, and sometimes I sit back. I don't even think of what I've done, but moving forward, it's exactly how I'm moving. If it doesn't fit my sound, if you're not bringing what I can bring, if you can't match that, I ain't gonna be working moving forward.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not gonna be doing features for every Tom, Dick, and Harry around the block. But you know, it's got to make sense, and we got to meet in the middle. You know, that's how I'm moving.
Even for whatever I'm doing at whatever level I'm doing it, to do interviews for someone that doesn't engage their fans, that shit goes nowhere. It's like, bro, like you got to engage your fans. Like I can appreciate your art, but if you're not engaging your fans, I don't think we're gonna have an interview. You know what I'm saying? Like
facts.
You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So aside from his work ethic, was there anything else about his music that made you want to work with him, or anything else?
The biggest thing, the first thing was, and like I think I can say this on just because it's part of the story, and I think that's what people want to hear is the very first beat, Guillotine, that was purchased because at the time, Jay was still kind of green in this stuff, right? Like he's only been doing this 2 years, but after Guillotine. And so this is what I tell a lot of people too, and this is why I'll pay for features sometimes as well, is money is like when you show up to the club and you hand the bouncer like a 20 to get in, right? And then you slide in. The next time you go, the bouncer's like, okay, just toss me 10. The next time after that, the bouncer's like, just get in here, man. So Jay bought the first beat ever, Guillotine, and then from there, from his bars and his lyricism and the amount of hard work he put into that, and then the hard work outside in the business, we had a conversation, and everything else became 50-50 after that. So from that one, because like, and I've told people this is like, I don't listen to a lot of people's music. I don't listen, like my listening habits are very like structured in terms of me making my music to do what I do. So like I get a lot of people that are close that are like, yo, did you listen? And it's like, I have some close people, I'm not going to say, but I haven't even listened. But like at the time, I'll admit, like I wasn't tuned in yet. And it was because Jay was still getting on the radar. And he's come a long way since there. But that one song went from one song of him buying a beat to us doing a full project and collabing, right?
And I would say, Jay, you're good at maintaining relationships too. Because even me and you, we didn't interview right away, and then now I'm like all in. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm like one of your number one fans, probably. You know what I'm saying?
I only want to build with people that I would consider on a real level. You know what I mean? Like if I do a feature for somebody, it's because I either know you or I fuck with your pen heavy. If I want your beats, because the same way. If I get an interview, same way. And I try to keep the real ones close because in this world, it's very rare.
So back to Imperative. I got the life story from Jay on our last interview, which was great. I just wanted to ask you, Imperative. You're from London. Have you always lived there?
No, I moved around a lot growing up. I grew up, was born and raised in Ontario. When I say people are talking music and they're like, "Where are you from?" I say Vancouver because that's where I started.
Okay.
That's where I started making music. I lived in Vancouver longer than any other city, but I was born in Scarborough, moved to Richmond Hill, moved to Angus, moved to Barrie, moved to Whitby, moved to Oshawa, moved to London. Then I flew to Vancouver. Then I came back to Welland, then to Niagara, and then now I'm back in London 13 years later. So
Yeah, that's crazy.
so I've been around.
That's crazy. I guess that's work or something that would have got you to all those places.
It was my dad's work, when I was younger, and then now, and then now that I'm an independent man on my own, it's just trying to figure out life, really figure out where I fit in, where I belong.
That's awesome. So how would you say the hip hop scene is in London? How would you describe it?
Hip hop scene is actually very similar to Vancouver. I was like saying
Oh, yeah?
actually the other night at an event is Vancouver is a lot of transplants. A lot of people just come there and then they leave.
Yeah.
London is similar because of Western, Fanshawe, and there's one other college. It's a private college. But because of all the schools, there's this school bubble where there's a lot of people here, but they're here for school, and then they leave. So they don't get too involved in the scene.
Yeah.
The people in the scene right now are kind of, it's the scene. It's rappers and producers and beat makers supporting the rappers, the beat makers, and right? And so that's the scene, but it's growing right now. When I first came to London, it was still COVID, so there wasn't a lot going on. This year, there is a lot more going on. I've been getting on shows and DJing. There's some bigger acts that have come here. Conway came through. Snack the Ripper came through that I opened up for Snack.
Oh, wow.
Junk is coming through October 11th from Vancouver, and I'll be DJing for him there. So the London scene, there's a lot of talented artists here. It's just a bit of a bubble, and I don't mean that in any disrespect. It's like I lived in Vancouver, which is bigger. It was very similar there as well. So
Gotcha. One more thing I wanted to ask you, Imperative. I saw you did a pilgrimage to New York for hip hop's 50th, right?
Yeah.
It's safe to say you're a very hardcore hip hop fan. It's safe to say you make East Coast style music. Would you agree? So how was that? You went there your first time. Is that right?
That was my first time in New York, and so the fact that it was my first time going to New York and it was hip hop's 50, it just made it that much more surreal. The whole thing, I won't get it into this, but like at some point there would be a bio doc on my life, and that would be like a small chapter, because it was kind of like I'm not oblivious to who I am or who I am in this culture. You know what I mean? Like I'm a guest in this culture, and when you go down to New York, is like I was in a lot of hoods, like straight up hoods, where I probably shouldn't have been. You know what I mean? Like on my own, I linked up with Block Lord. Block Lord is known in that scene. He was like back in Lyricist Lounge days in '93. So we'd show up places, and he's like, yo, and they're like, yo, Block Lord, what up, what up? So like the fact that I was able to roll with him, but the big thing was like, the overall theme was like me in places where I probably shouldn't have been, but people are like, oh, yo, this white boy's kind of dope. That was the overall theme, and people would accept me and then be like, dapping me up, and that's, I think it's just because I love this culture and I love what it is. And
you respect where it came from, right?
100%. That's why I had to be there. I had to be there for the 50th anniversary. I went to Sedgwick. The very first place I went to was actually the Big L mural.
That's amazing.
The big picture, the Big L, that really changed a lot in terms of like when I heard that album, it was like the rhymes, the lyricism, the tone. It was like, yo. So I was like, when I get to New York, the first place I'm going is Harlem, and I'm hitting up the Big L mural. So
nice. That's amazing, man. Awesome. So look, guys, we're just about done. I just wanted to ask you guys like what's next in terms of Shamrocks and Machine Guns. Anything you care to divulge?
Like I said, we're coming up with some physicals. There'll probably be some surprises there. That's really what we've got on deck. I think we've got some of our own individual stuff after that for a bit. But it won't be the last time we work together for sure.
Awesome.
The one thing I've been talking about with a lot of different people is creating what I like to call the imperative verse. So it's like the Marvel universe, right? But like when you see guys like Alchemist, right? Alchemist works with West Side Gun and Griselda, and then he's got a lot of the same artists. And then when you see those artists, they all have the same artist and feature. So when you look at Shamrocks and Machine Guns and you see Super Caliente on there, well, we're probably going to start rolling out the Super Caliente project, which has a feature from JRoberts. You see
Yeah.
the Elvis feature on the JRoberts project, Super Caliente project's coming out, and there's an Elvis feature, right?
Right.
So there's these people that I'm working with that I think we're building this verse, this you know, a little bit of a universe and of our music and the people we want to work with.
That's amazing. And what would you say is next for each of you? Like beyond Shamrocks and Machine Guns, whatever you care to share.
You go ahead, Jay.
I don't know about this last quarter. You know, I might just try and keep promoting this, throw a video out.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I'm sure some merch will come through. You know,
Yeah.
that'll probably run me until nearly December. But then after that, you can expect the project with Body Bag Ben. That's close to done. You should expect project with Old Man 80s.
That's all that shit is still on the way. All that shit you told me about.
And then a project with Dope Producer SoCal, a little EP. So
that's crazy, man.
That's all planned for next year.
Look, I wish everyone that does tune into this after in the clips, I just want them, like a lot of artists throw their hands in the air, why shit isn't moving. I just want them to catch the vibe of how serious you guys are about what you do. Because I catch it, you know what I'm saying? So if there's anything any artist would take away from this interview, I hope they catch that vibe off you guys. So,
Jay
so that's dope.
Jay and I are sending each other calendars back and forth. So like when we're talking, it's not just talking about what we're doing. We're talking about what we're doing outside. But we're sending each other calendars of what we got lined up and like for the you know the next couple weeks, next couple months, next year. It's like, oh yo, we can fit something in here. We can release something here.
Amazing.
Like, yeah, we really got calendars. And we go back and forth on it. See, that's the thing too, is like we celebrate on what we're doing, but we're celebrating what we've got going on outside of what we have together. Like I'll be like, you know, he'll send me a tidbit of something he just like landed or someone he talked to, and I do the same, and so we can celebrate in that. A lot of people, you know, they want to see you do well, but they don't want to see you do well better than them, right?
Yes, yes.
Big.
That's what it is, man. It's a thing. I made a post about that the other day.
Yeah.
So look, I just want to salute everyone in the chat. We got Elan, Showrock, Danny Zed. Who else we got? Doper Beats. This is Hip Hop. Thank you all for joining. Whoever else joined. Thank you guys for sharing those details about what you're doing, those insights. Any final words before we depart?
Yo, it's imperative. Listen to the kid.
There you go.
Hey, yo. Let me shuffle this.
Oh, yeah, we got the winner. We got to choose the winner. That's right.
Oh, yeah. Let's do that.
That looks pretty dope, too. Eh?
Go ahead.
All right, let's see. There's a lot of lads on there. Show Rocka, Royalty, Bison Act 1, a bunch I can't even name, so here we go. Who the hell won that?
Oh, that's my homie, Chris Easton. Nice. He'll be happy.
This lad won.
Here, let me screenshot that. Here, there we go.
Shout out to Chris Easton.
Well, that makes shipping easy. I can drive that to him.
Nice.
Oh,
nice.
Last words I want to say is I really appreciate the community. You know, I have a nice knitted community where you know it doesn't work all the time. But in terms of this, it really worked. It elevated the album to get to where it was. Shout out to Imperative side too, and just salute for the support. You know, the response has been amazing, and it's definitely got some accolades that I'm extremely proud about, for sure.
So well deserved, guys. Congratulations. I hope to stay in touch with you guys on your journey, and have a great night. Thank you very much.
Appreciate you.
Peace. Peace.